Welcome, Sens Talk.
He scores! He bats it in! Tim Stutzler wins it for Ottawa! Mitchell Gray is going to put the finishing touches on an Ottawa win. See you later. Go Sens, go!
Sens win! Sens win! The Sens win! 4-3 in overtime over the New York Rangers. Big game. Captain Clutch, El Capitano, Brady Tkachuk takes down New York as your Ottawa Senators, in unlikely fashion, the Cardiac Sens are back at it again as they win it 4-3 in overtime, baby. Massive playoff win, basically, considering where these two teams are in the standings, as the Sens make it 4 games in a row with at least a point. And of course, as I already said, it's Brady Tkachuk, El Capitano, the captain. Unbelievable. This guy, in the biggest moments, always finds the way to get it done as the Ottawa Senators, in unlikely fashion, in the final 10 minutes of play against the best goaltender in the National Hockey League, find a way, tie it up, win it in overtime, and remain in a playoff spot going into a pivotal matchup on Monday against yet another team chasing us for that final wildcard spot, with a chance to just even more so solidify our playoff spot. My goodness, I am so fired up. So much happened in this game. It was unbelievable, but I am amped up right now. That interview post-game by Brady Tkachuk, goosebumps. The crowd was going crazy. He was going crazy. What a moment tonight for the Ottawa Senators. Maybe one of the biggest wins under this new core here in Ottawa. And by the way, best theme song in sports. Bring it back full time, as I always say. My goodness, what a win tonight for your Ottawa Senators, or today. Weird start time at 12:30. But again, they find a way. They always do. And that's the biggest difference between the good teams and the bad teams, the teams that make the playoffs and the teams that miss the playoffs. They know how to get it done when it looks like there's no way they can get it done. It's unbelievable. Now, going to this game, both teams were tied in the second wildcard spot with 67 points. That probably explains, if you were probably wondering, Brandon, settle down there. That's why I'm so fired up. This was basically like a playoff win, you know? The point swing, look at your screen right now. This is courtesy of Money Puck. The point swing, if we lost this game in regulation, which is what it looked like was going to be the case going into the final 10 minutes of this game, literally not even 40 minutes ago at this point when I'm recording this video, 15 or so point difference of odds of making the playoffs. That is substantial. That's a massive difference. We needed the win. We got the win. That's why I'm fired up. By the way, before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to say thank you to all of you who nominated us for 4 different awards at this year's Ottawa Faces Magazine Awards. We were up for Best YouTube Channel, looking to make it 3 years in a row with a win for that. Best Blog, looking to defend our title and make it back-to-back for that. We're also up for Best Sports Podcast and Best Sports Reporter/Personality. That's under my name, Brandon Plant. If you want to vote for us, we would really appreciate it. It would be an honor. You can vote for us at facesmag.ca/awards. That's facesmag.ca/awards. You can vote for us for all 4 categories up to once a day until March 14th. Again, facesmag.ca/awards to vote for us today. Again, much appreciated for the nominations. Now that we're nominated, let's win this thing. So again, thank you all for your nominations. Now let's get back into the video. So I'm already losing my voice. Dear goodness, bear with me right now because I'm already struggling in this in this game recap, and we just started. So going to this game, obviously some massive trades yesterday. If you don't know, Norris and Jacob Bernard-Docker dealt to Buffalo. Dennis Gilbert and, of course, Dylan Cozens brought back to Ottawa. Fabian Zetterlund also acquired by the Ottawa Senators yesterday for Noah Gregor, the Grey Goat, and Zach Ostapchuk. Zetterlund would not play today. He's still on his way over to Ottawa. He will, in my opinion, be playing on Monday. No reason to think he won't be. He's literally flying as we speak. That's according to Sens GM Steve Steo. So he will be in Ottawa by today, and hopefully we'll be practicing with the team by tomorrow if they're practicing, or at the very least on Monday. And in terms of Cozens and Gilbert, they would play today, which would mean that Matt Paulo is scratched because Clevin does return as well, which is great news. Love to see the Clev bomb back. Head scratch, to be honest, to scratch Matt Paulo. Pun very much intended there. Because again, I mean, the alternative, that being Hamonic, I mean, he's fine as a 7th defenseman, I guess. But in this scenario where you have 8 guys on the roster you can play in a 7th D situation, because, again, they went 11-7, I would put Manapalo. Now, obviously, I just think he's the better player over Hamonic. But I think especially in that role there as a 7th defenseman in this lineup configurement, he brings more. He can move the puck. He can really play with any of the pairings, while Hamonic, in my opinion anyways, usually anchors the guys he's with in the defensive pairing. So having him as either the free roam 7D or the guy that goes up and down the pairings, not really optimal in my opinion. But and we did see that again today, for the record. We'll talk about that in this video. Wow, I'm really losing my voice. But regardless, I mean, yeah. So I think Manapalo definitely deserves to start over Hamonic. He has struggled a bit as of late, no doubt about it. He hasn't looked as good as he used to. Still looks fine. I think definitely more serviceable than, Hamonic. But, again, especially in this type of situation, I think you want a more of a versatile kind of defender there that can blend with anyone instead of a anchor. So anyways, yeah, so we'll see with Zetterlund. I already said, hopefully he'll be back in on Monday. Now, going to this game, Ottawa, as we already know, has gotten points in 3 straight, looking to make it 4 straight games with a point. We already know how that worked out for Ottawa. While Tim Stützle is riding a 13-game point streak heading into this one, while Brady Tkachuk plays in game number 500. Those are 2 key players, as they always are, but a little bit of foreshadowing. Big game Brady and a 13-game point streak. Just keep those 2 guys in mind. I'll just save that for later. Also, Batherson's gotten a lot of flack as of late, but in his last 10 games, 9 points, including 2 goals, and I think he deserves a bit of praise for that. And Chabot as well, for a defenseman, really contributing a lot offensively as of late, 9 points in his last 11 with 2 goals as well. Now, Allmark versus Sturkin in the net tonight for both teams, or today, I always say that, for both teams. Hell of a goalie matchup. I mean, we'll talk about it in the game notes. Allmark's numbers aren't flashy by any means, but he made a bunch of flashy saves and key saves, especially, when the Rangers had moments where they were the better team. I think Ottawa overall in this game was the better team. But when the Rangers were pushing, especially on that power play, and that diamond formation just gets picked apart all the time, as it did again today, a lot of opportunities there for the Rangers. Allmark was forced to make some big stops. So with that, let's get to the first period of play. And right away, Dylan Cozens on his first shift gets a nice round of applause by the Sens fans at the CTC. He also sees second line power play minutes. Ottawa will get a power play in the first few minutes. So good start for the young career of Dylan Cozens as an Ottawa Senator. But unfortunately, roughly 10 minutes into the first period of play, I mean, Allmark, buddy, I mean, I defend you constantly. I think people are a little too harsh on you at times. People often, I think, in my opinion, forget that miraculous run you went on in December, which saved our season. Without that incredible run, which was single-handedly spearheaded by Linus Allmark, we're not even talking about playoff matchups or anything right now. So, with that being said, you need to stop there. That puck cannot go in. That just cannot go in. Inexcusable. Originally, we don't think it's a goal because the whistle was blown, but apparently it counts. So the Rangers would strike first to make it 1-0. And regardless of the whistle, I'm not even going to talk about that because, again, that puck should just not go in the back of the net. No ifs or buts about it. Now, that score would hold after 20 minutes of play. The Rangers would lead. A couple other notes on Dylan Cozens in that period. He saw some penalty kill time as well. So basically, he replaced Josh Norris there on the penalty kill. And we saw Ridley Gray got some opportunities there on the first power play wave. Perron, they were interchanging some guys. Cozens got some time on the power play there as well. So Cozens playing in all situations, which is great to see. And I think he looked very good. He had 5 hits in that first period as well. 9 total, which we'll talk about in the game notes. But Dylan Cozens, what I really notice about him is how he uses his frame to his advantage. It's kind of like what we wanted from Logan Brown way back then. The prototypical big body center that uses his body to create, power drives to the net. That's what Cozens does. And I think it's very notable that especially along the boards or even at the blue line, he's not afraid to use his body to kind of pivot around guys. He's so fun to watch in that regard, and he creates such great chances. And Ottawa, who have struggled, as we've noted many times, as I said in my 2 videos yesterday, recapping the trades, have struggled in 5-on-5 offense. Cozens is going to be a big part in changing that, and that's a big reason why, on top of his great possession numbers, which we'll talk about in the game notes as well. But again, I just was really impressed by Cozens and his board work today, and just in general, his puck protection. It's really noticeable, and him and Norris have different impacts to the game. But I think, he's much more noticeable in that regard. And, you definitely notice him more so than Norris when he's on the ice. Just in the short sample, I can see it because, again, he's much more physical. He's more engaged. And that's no slant against Josh Norris. They just play different styles of games. So after 20 minutes of play, Ottawa would be down by a goal, but would lead in shots by 3. And that trend would continue. Ottawa, throughout this game, was the better team. I mean, the Rangers would score and they would lead multiple times, but ultimately Ottawa was easily the better team throughout this entire game from beginning to end. So we go to the second period of play, and just a few minutes in, I mean, this is just a rough one here to make it 2-0 for the Rangers. Zibanejad, former Ottawa Senator, of course, rips it on an odd-man rush glove side. It looked to be tipped off Jake Sanderson's stick, which is always the risk you have when you put your stick out there. So it gets tipped there by Sanderson. It looks to be the case anyway. Such a quick replay, hard to tell, but it looks like it deflected off Sanderson's stick. And then it beats Allmark left side, of course, to give the Rangers a 2-0 lead. But just a minute later, big game Brady does it, and he gets it going and gets Ottawa right back into it. He tips it home off a face-off play to cut the lead to 1. They make it a 2-1 game. Big game Brady Tkachuk with a massive goal in game number 500 of his NHL career as he squeaks one by Shesterkin off the tip, which makes it 5 games in a row with a goal for the captain as well, a career high for him. As Ottawa, after 40 minutes of play, have some life. It's a 2-1 game, and they would push. They would push a hell of a lot throughout that second period and into that third period too. I mean, we go to the third period of play, and Ottawa, they are all over the Rangers, but as we all know, all it takes is one bad, costly mistake, and it's going to end up in the back of your net. And that's exactly what happened here. With about 13 minutes left in the third period of play, oh, man, I don't know how you do this. I don't know. I always say this with Ovechkin as well, when the guy shoots it from the same spot for 800 goals or whatever, right? Like, how does he keep on doing that? And while this is not the exact same thing, because Gilbert and Hamonic literally fall asleep at the wheel here, I still don't understand how you don't have an eye on a guy like Panarin here, where he literally sneaks behind Gilbert and Hamonic. Hamonic with a horrible pinch. Gilbert was caught off, not really paying attention, to be honest. Also, I think he had a hit just before, so a little out of position. So just a bad pinch, bad read by both defenders there. Panarin takes full advantage, streaks in for a partial breakaway, roofs it glove side, top shelf, and the Rangers lead by 2 with about 12-13 minutes left in the game. That's not great. But you know what? The Cardiac Sens are refusing to go anywhere. Just a few minutes later on the power play, Dylan Cozens, the workhorse from Whitehorse, creating chaos out front, and really Greg the Riddler cleans it up, puts it home. Down by 1 are your Ottawa Senators yet again. Power play goal to make it a 3-2 game. Really Greg with his first goal in 9 games, his 10th of the year as well, as Dylan Cozens, Cuzzy baby, gets his first point as an Ottawa Senator, as the Sens are only down by a goal with 10 minutes to go. Here we go. The Sens keep on pushing. A couple minutes later, unfortunately, Travis Hamonic, in considerable pain, gets tied up behind the net. It actually looked terrible. I'm not even going to put the replay on the screen, to be honest with you. Twisted his knee and leg, so it looks to be a knee injury. Could potentially be an MCL, ACL type of injury. Hopefully not something even more severe like a cartilage tear, which is like impossible really to recover from. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But Hamonic's a really tough guy. They don't call him the Hammer for nothing, right? So the fact that he was like hobbling, barely able to get up, and then couldn't put any weight on his left leg, just a terrible sign. So do hope that Hamonic is okay. And I'll just check here. Might as well. Does Travis Green? No update on Travis Hamonic, just reported by the press there in Ottawa. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens before Monday's game. Hopefully he is okay, though. A few minutes after that, with about 3 minutes left in the game, the Cardiac Sens, your heart is pumping, I'm sure, because mine was certainly at this moment. 3 minutes left. David Perron, DP 57. He's been so good as of late. Great board work. Wins the board battle. Creates some chaos out front. Loose puck. Tie game. Can you believe it? It's a me, Amadio, his biggest goal as an Ottawa Senator. And the Sens, with 2 goals in 6 minutes against one of the best goalies in the National Hockey League, have tied it up in the final 3 minutes of play. It's chaos in Ottawa. It's Medlem at the CTC as the Ottawa Senators find a way to tie it up and force overtime with a massive third period comeback as Ottawa now has points in 4 straight games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a game and what a comeback for the boys. I mean, I still got goosebumps, man. You probably can't see it, but I still got goosebumps. And at this point, Ottawa led in shots 36-23. So they were dominating in every facet of the game other than goaltending, where that was relatively, I'm not going to say even because Shesterkin was out of his mind, but Allmark made so many nice 10-bell stops that it's even in that regard. But Shesterkin had far more of a workload, that's for sure. So anyways, yeah, the Cardiac Sens are at it again. It's probably why my voice is gone. I was streaming during the game. My poor neighbors, I feel bad for them. But anyways, we go to overtime. 30 seconds in, off a turnover by the Rangers. Tim Stützle feeds the captain, Brady Tkachuk. He walks it off, and the Sens win it in overtime. The captain, a 2-goal game, as their Sens with the 2 points, and they win it in overtime over the New York Rangers. A 2-goal game for Brady Tkachuk, a 14-game point streak for Timmy Stu, and the Ottawa Senators find a way to win it and have 69 points. That's nice, baby. And remain in that final wildcard spot. They hold full possession of a playoff spot right now. Unbelievable, as Tkachuk has his 4th overtime victory of the year. That's a franchise record. Have a day, Brady. Have a day. And again, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'll say it again. His post-game interview with Claire Hanna of TSN, incredible interview by her, by the way. I mean, my goodness.
On the Sens bench with Brady Tkachuk.
Brady, a whirlwind of emotions in the last 24 hours. Love the fist pumps there on the ice. How would you describe this comeback win?
I mean, it's all because of you guys. Just let's go. Here we go. Wow. Oh, man.
The passion of that fan base in that arena was incredible. Brady, this is your city. You're an Ottawa legend. And anyone that says that he wants to go anywhere, shut the hell up. Focus on your own stuff. I mean, unbelievable nonsense that is. I mean, this guy is not going anywhere. This guy loves this city, and that clip just says it all. What a win tonight for your Ottawa Senators. What a game. What a moment. Easily the biggest, most electric victory of the year, and there's been so many of those. Woo! My goodness. I'm going to have to cut the video short here because I could barely talk. I'm out of breath. I'm dead. I literally barely could pull together this video right now. It's unbelievable. I'm still on cloud 9. But we have some game notes. Whoa, my voice is shot, man. Holy cow. Like literally. I don't know if you can tell, but to me it sounds so raspy. So some game notes. And honestly, I'm okay with it. The more raspy, the better. That means we're playing well and doing some crazy things. Brady Tkachuk today, 2 goals, 9 shots, 4 hits. I mean, come on now. Come on now, Brady. Have a day. Have a day, Brady. Unbelievable. Dylan Cozens, an assist as well. Today, his first point as an Ottawa Senator. 9 hits, 3 scoring chances, and above 55% Corsi for percentage, which means way more often than not when he was on the ice. He and his line controlled possession of the puck. And he also had a 55% face-off rate. He was very good in the circle today. Now, Linus Allmark, 20 for 23, 870 save percentage. Again, that first goal, very, very weak. Other than that, he was fine. I will give him a pass, though, because, again, there was a few goals that were not in because of him making unbelievable saves. So, I'm sure that squeaker early on, you want to save there, and that needs to be cleaned up. That has been a reoccurring issue for the Sens netminder, but at the same time, he more than, bounced back from that and made up for that with some incredible saves throughout the game when the Rangers, especially on those power plays, had some great looks. Now, with that, the next Sens game is on Monday against the Detroit Red Wings, another massive game. Holy cow. And they won this game against the Rangers without Fabian Zetterlund. Ooh, baby, I cannot wait to see him on Monday. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm sure you're as fired up as me. And have a great Saturday night. Celebrate accordingly. And we'll be back Monday to cover, hopefully, yet another Sens victory. Now, with that, I will see you all very, very soon. Go Sens, go.